What's up, YouTube? Yeah, man, I had some fun yesterday making that video. But, I prefer to stay serious, but every now and then you need to have some fun and take a break from the serious things in life. And, every now and then somebody loses their mind and tries to come at me with half-assed accusations, and then I just have some fun and I completely destroy their heart, soul, and aura. But unless he actually gets strong evidence to support his claims, and this honestly goes for everybody else, unless somebody brings to my attention that somebody has some real dirt well, it's not going to be irrefutable proof, but unless somebody comes up with proof that's actually worth my time to refute from now on, I'm just not even going to watch the video. I even told Freeze added me on Discord, right? For those of you guys that said that we should get in a call together and do a debate together, I mean, he's never going to do that. He added me on Discord to let me know he's making another video, but I politely told him I'm not watching any more of your videos or anybody else from that community unless somebody brings to my attention that you guys actually have strong evidence. Then I'll, be more than happy to destroy that. But, from here on out, I'm mostly going to stay serious. For those of you guys that are always asking for proof from me, don't just tell us to go to the source, give us free lunch. I'm still not going to give you guys free lunch, but something I've been wanting to do for a while is I wanted to take specific scenes and characters from popular shows to show people that this is universal. For those that still don't get that, but I'll go over that in those videos. I already got one person in mind who I want to make a video about. So for those of y'all that want a little bit more proof, a little bit more free lunch, you're still not going to get free lunch because I'm not going to go hawk mode in the videos, but I'm going to make certain things a bit more visible and apparent for those who can see. Nonetheless, with that intro out the way, this video is mostly going to be explaining something that I've been saying for years, but I never really went into detail about. And that is, the game is designed with impossible difficulty in mind. Understand something, guys. You're never intended to see what's going on. Some people have asked me on Discord, Chris, if all of this is a secret, why do they hide the truth in plain sight? Well, you have to understand something. If your eyes cannot see the truth, then it's not really hidden in plain sight. You have to get to a certain level in order for these things to be visible, and that's a level that if you get to it, most people will think you're insane. Most of the trolls, it's funny because most of the trolls will pretend like I'm speaking insanity, but they always come back to my channel, almost as if they know that something isn't right here. But the game was designed with impossible difficulty in mind, impossible difficulty for men, beyond impossible difficulty for women. Now, why do I say that, right? Those of y'all that watch these videos on a regular basis, I'm assuming that you guys already know the difference between a man and a woman. I don't have to explain basic biology to you people. And if you don't understand the difference between a man and a woman, go out into nature, meet 100 men, then meet 100 women, and then you'll see there's a visible difference. You can do this in the human realm, you can do this with the animal kingdom, you can do this with fucking insects. But whatever. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Now, understand something. Nobody is meant to see what's going on in this system. However, as men, we have a few more advantages than our female counterparts to see what's really going on in this game. See, a lot of people have this misconception that you have either logic or you have either emotions. Truth be told, you need a combination of both to really see what's going on. because all things in the universe exist in balanced harmony. All things in nature operate under balance. Too much logic blinds you from your emotions, and too much emotions blind you from your logic. Now, women are pretty much worshipped like gods in society. Okay, nobody wants to admit this out loud, but all you have to do is go on TikTok. I mean, somebody asked me, why do I have an OnlyFans? You know, 25% of the reason is to just hit on hot fucking chicks on OnlyFans that have free accounts, right? But the other 75% of the reason is because I practice what I preach. I like to go straight to the source, right? So I have stuff like, Instagram and TikTok and OnlyFans, specifically to observe how bad the problem has gotten. Women have always been worshipped as gods, right? Women and children first, which it makes sense why you would want the children to live, over the adults. But you want the women to live over men? Why would you want such a thing unless there's some worship going on, right? And this has been the case since, time immemorial. But in 2023, it's gotten especially bad. You've never seen so many chicks on TikTok and OnlyFans, taking advantage of their god status to milk the tillers of the ground, so to speak, or in modern slang, the simps. So I like to directly observe nature. And as my homeboy Ben pointed out, shout out to Ben, you have to observe both the human and the natural realms, because humans are a part of nature, even though humans like to use their free will to violate the laws of nature on a daily basis. But here's the reason why I'm saying that, right? And all the videos that I've made talking about pedophilia and children and shit, it served a second purpose, because people have this misconception that they have an infinite amount of time to mature into adulthood and start seeing what's going on. But understand something, guys, there is a time limit. The younger and sooner you see what's going on, the higher percent chance you have of turning your life around. If you find the truth when you're 35, 40, it's probably too late. Now, I'm going to go into detail about what I mean by this, right? Because women are worshipped as gods in society, this actually puts them at a massive disadvantage. Yes, their early lives will be easier up until they're 25, or if they're exceptionally good looking and they know how to slow the aging process down a little bit. Up until they're 30, they're going to be treated like gods. They're going to be treated like princesses. They're going to pretty much be able to get away with whatever they want, and nobody's going to fully hold them accountable for their actions, right? I'll give you an example. The video, what I said in the video that got me canceled, right? From that community, right? You got underage girls that go out of their way to hit on adults, and if their relationship gets caught, 70% of society will only want to hold the male accountable. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Chris, that has nothing to do with sex. That has to do with age. Oh, really? Well, go ahead and do some research. If a 30-year-old teacher is a female and she gets caught having a relationship, flip the roles, right? If she gets caught having a relationship with a 12, 13-year-old boy, her consequences are significantly less than that of a male, because even though society says that men and women are equal, they really don't think that. Society really thinks women are like it's ironic because they're worshipped as gods, but in a way, a lot of men see them as subhuman, as animals that are incapable of, using their own thought process to make logical decision making. So whenever they get caught for something, the sentence is always lighter, and society kind of likes to treat them like they're a remedial child. But why am I mentioning this? Because women get this special treatment from a young age. It's because they're worshipped as gods from a young age. It's because nobody wants to fully hold them accountable from a young age, for their actions and their decision making that leads to stunted development. Now, what do I mean by that? As men, we don't have it easy for the first 25 years of our life. We have to be strong. We have to grind, and we have to go through the struggle. But because we're used to struggling, because we're used to seeing the visible effects of our struggle and the positive consequences if we conquer all adversary, we see our stock going up. We see our muscles getting bigger. We see our energy getting stronger, and we see the profits of our labor. Because we're not worshipped as gods, we have to grind. And when we see the result of our grind, we get even stronger. Trauma makes men stronger. Women, on the other hand, because they're not used to this struggle, because they're not used to this trauma, when they do encounter it, it destroys them. People ask me all the time, why do you want a woman with a low body count? Because I'm going to keep it. I was that guy that was breaking these chicks' hearts, man. And let me tell you, I have verified with my own eyes that women never really recover from trauma. They don't get over their ex-boy, especially the ones they were in love with. Dude, that has permanent long-term effects on them. Now, most won't admit this out loud, but if you get them drunk enough, they will admit this out loud, right? Trauma destroys women, but it makes men stronger. This is the reason why for women it's beyond impossible difficulty, because the job of the father is to teach his children, son and daughter, from a young age, preferably when they're infants, about the truth, about how the universe actually works, about natural law. And when it's done correctly, the father and the children grow up together, and they understand it through the family unity. This is what the ruling elite do. From a young age, they ensure their offsprings know the game. Okay? This may not apply to their, branch families, but, the ruling elites, their direct children, make no mistake, they learn the game from a very young age. But in 2023, one of the parents has been removed from the household. I don't say single mother in all of my videos just to bash on retarded people. That is really that's the norm, unfortunately, right now in society. And no, I didn't have a single mother. My mom was married when she had me, and, she found a simp little stepfather after that marriage failed. But I didn't live with my mom. I lived with my dad for 15 years, and, then he had some strokes, and my mom took advantage of that and gained custody over me. It's but I'll get into that in another video, because people got it twisted. People think I'm the one that was raised by a single mother. No, I didn't live with my mother until I already learned the truth, basically. So, anyways, but when a woman doesn't have this father in her life in order to teach her what's really going on from a young age, she gets spoiled by all of the simps, by all of the worship, up until she's 25. And in her mind, she has an infinite amount of time to have fun and do whatever it is she wants, because she can just, find the truth and find the right guy later on. But what nobody tells these women is that you have a limited amount of time to have children yourself. After about 45, you go through menopause, and as you get older, less men that understand what's going on are willing to give you that type of time and attention. A man that's capable of teaching a woman the truth is not going to go for an older woman. That's just the reality. They're going to go for a woman that can have healthy babies. The healthiest babies being proven to come from women between the ages of 16 through 25. If you have a child as a woman at 36, 37, 38, 39, don't be surprised if they're born with something like autism or Down syndrome or missing a leg or two, and everybody wants to act like they don't know what causes these imparities, right? It's a factor of a bunch of different things. But getting to the point, it's because women are spoiled for so long that they really have no incentive to ever learn what's going on. And it's only after they stop being worshipped like gods that they start trying to pay attention to the world around them. But unfortunately for them, it's too late. Now, men, on the other hand, we have to pay attention to what's going on from a young age, or we won't get far in life. Now understand something. Most men still fail. Most men are going to fail. 99.999% of men born in this world will be trapped in the game forever. But at least a man has a chance to learn on his own, because a man has to know struggle from a young age. If a fucking boy, if a 16-year-old boy vandalizes something in school, oh, he's getting in a whole host of trouble. But if a 6-year-old girl does the same thing, oh, look at the little princess, she's just having a bad day. So we have to learn this struggle from a young age, and the most intelligent, most brilliant minds of men, they see from a young age that something isn't right. And the strongest of the strong, they go on to learn what's really going on, and then they go and find a woman, you know, they have a family together. He teaches that woman the truth, and then they teach the children the truth. For men that are not born into an elite family, this is how it has to be done. But it's still impossible difficulty for the man, but he at least has a chance. But because women are never fully held accountable for their actions until they stop getting attention from men, this is one of the few things the red pill gets correct, that stupid ideology. But it's the truth, right? Women will only start trying to understand natural law in their 30s, 40s, and 50s after no men that can teach them the truth are going to give them any attention, because they've already been through abortions. They've already have children. They're single mothers. You know, they already have a whole host of trauma that somebody that understands is not going to be willing to deal with. Why? Why deal with a 40-year-old woman with baggage and all this extra crap you got to deal with, who probably isn't going to listen to you in the first place, when you can get a chick that's like 19, who hasn't had any abortions, who has no children, who has less trauma, who's more willing to listen to what's really going on? Because understand something, right? It's not enough to just learn what's going on, okay? This is why I tell you guys to go out into nature. If you learn the truth when you're 15, you got to spend at least 10 years going out into nature and verifying things with your own eyes. So if you meet a chick that's 19 and you tell her the truth, it's not going to be until she's 29 until she really fully gets it. And by that time, you guys are going to have children together. And by the time the child reaches the important age of 4 and 5, that's when the system can prosper naturally. Now, try to do that with a 50-year-old. It's not gonna. And this is why when you meet people that get into permanent relationships later on in life, like if a 40-year-old man gets with a 40-year-old woman, they never really seem happy, because deep down inside they know something isn't right. Now, I know the trolls are gonna take this as a sexist video, but it's not sexist. You see, this is what the system does. They want people fighting over nothing. They want men to hate women and women to hate men. They want you to fight over pronouns. They want you to fight over tune sound. They want you to fight over all this shit that doesn't matter, so that you never truly see what's going on. And they want women to be engaged in this feministic, hedonistic society where they take advantage of the simps, and then they party arty until they're 25, 30, hot girl summer, because they understand that when a woman hits 30 years old, no man that can teach them the truth is going to give them the time of day. Because you got to understand something, guys. You don't just meet a woman, then instantly have a child with her. That's fucking stupid. If you meet a 19-year-old girl, you got to take at least 5 years, you know, showing them the reality of the world. You know, showing them what type of family you would like. This shit takes time. And the sooner you start it, the better. Now, I'm not telling any 15-year-olds to go out and have children, because I think that's equally stupid. You're a child having a child. That's just not. No, even if you learn the truth at 15, a child having a child doesn't work. Okay? You need. See, I had an old video called Knowledge Application Verify. Basically, the first step is you obtain the knowledge. Now, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking, okay, I got the knowledge, now what? You obtain the knowledge. You then go out into nature and you apply the knowledge, and then from your own real world experience, you verify if the knowledge you've obtained is true or false. This takes time. Okay? People ask me for a long time, why did I live with my mom for so long? Because it wasn't time to leave. I was going to leave in August, but my instinct said it's not time yet. And the universe itself showed me when it was time. I made that video on December 24th, 2022. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. And then what happened on Christmas, the universe itself showed it was time to leave. This stuff takes time, man. It can't be rushed. Now, again, because it's beyond impossible difficulty for women, by the time they're 30 and they stop getting that attention, they then try to rush, but by then it's too late. And understand something, right? It's more apparent the effects it has on women, but this also applies with men as well. You really can't wait until you're 30 years old to start trying to see what's really going on. But if you want to get anywhere in life as a man, you can't wait until you're 30 years old to start questioning the world around you. Because unlike women that are worshipped like gods, nobody's going to come and save you. Nobody's going to come and sweep you off the street and give you lunch for free. Nobody's going to scoop you up and teach you the truth for free like that, because you're not a woman. You're not worshipped like a god, right? And plus, women, because they worship their emotions, it is extremely hard for them to learn this stuff on their own. They usually have to be taught by a father or a man that's willing to give them some energy. Men, on the other hand, I know it sounds like, well, damn, Chris, if we got to learn this on our own, doesn't that mean that it's beyond impossible difficulty for us? No. Because we're used to struggling, because we're used to trauma, because we're used to seeing the profits of our hard work and labor, we are used to doing this from a young age. That's what gives us a chance. A woman that isn't used to doing this, a woman that's just used to getting shit from a bunch of different guys for free, you tell her to go out and learn the truth on her own, she can't do it. That's why the game for men and women is different. A man has to learn the truth at a young age on his own, and that's not just knowledge. That also includes the game of women. Because understand something, guys, if you want to have a successful relationship and family, you're going to need to know how to talk to women. A lot of people get angry when I talk about this because they live in this fairy tale land where they can hoard all the knowledge and still suck with women. Listen, man, if you want to properly raise your children to understand what's going on, you're going to need to also attract a woman that knows what's going on. And that usually means you need to attract a woman that's young and moldable and show her the truth yourself, and then give her time to go out into nature and experience if what she was told is true or not. And then you have to raise the family unit together. You know what I'm saying? I know, so it sounds harder for men, but we have that advantage that we have to learn this ourselves. Women, on the other hand, because women, it's funny because women can use their sexuality to get short-term benefits such as money and titles, but what that does is that permanently destroys the credibility. No man that understands what's going on is ever going to reproduce with a woman whose body is all over the internet. So the gifts that they get from these simps is not gifts that will help them long term. And they permanently disqualify themselves from the men that can show them a better world. So it sounds like it's harder for us men, but put yourself in a woman's position, right? You're 30 years old, you did what you had to do to survive financially, but now you see that none of your fans actually care about what you're saying out loud. They only care about you for your body. How is a woman like that going to attract a man that can save her life? It isn't going to happen. But a 30-year-old man, if you learn the truth at 15 and you've had 15 years to experience nature, to see what's really going on, you're set for life, man. From that point, all it is just attracting the right woman and then getting the next stage started, as well as attracting the right friends and getting the next stage started. So those that get it, get it. Those that don't probably never will. And deep down inside, women know this. This is why women that are young, 12, 13, 14, 15, they try their hardest to attract that one. Well, women like multiple guys at once, but there is always at least one guy who they see the end game with, right? Women understand the game naturally better than men, but the mistake they make is that they throw all their skill points into emotions. They worship their emotions, and when you worship anything in life, it puts you in an unnatural state. Likewise, a lot of men worship logic to where they have no connection to their emotions or their inner self. And you need a combination of both to really get it. So 12, 13, 14, they get that one guy that they think they have an end game with. That relationship doesn't work. They get heartbroken. They find a second guy who they think they have that end game with, 15, 16, 17. That relationship doesn't work. They're heartbroken again. They now have permanent, irreversible damage. And the chances that they're going to be able to sustain a third relationship long term with somebody that can actually show them the truth, it's probably not going to happen. So the trauma destroys women at a very young age, but the trauma makes men stronger at a very young age. Nonetheless, both men and females, they have to start seeing things from a young age, just in different ways. A man's game is he has to see it on his own, with his own eyes, because he's not going to have a teacher that's going to fully show him the truth. He needs to experience nature and get it himself. Yes, that sounds harder, but women, they pretty much have to rely on somebody else showing them the truth, because their emotions will blind them from what's really going on. So, I mean, what sounds harder to you? Having to depend on somebody else and not knowing if you can even attract that person in the first place, or be born into the right family in the first place, or knowing that you don't need anybody else and you can just learn it on your own if you go through enough trauma, struggle, and hard work, as well as not work. But see, men don't worship their emotions. You know, yeah, in 2023, men are more emotional than ever, but to them, they still only really follow what they perceive to be logical, right? So, but you guys be the judge. I think it's beyond impossible difficulty for women, because unless they find the right guy at a young enough age, they're permanently screwed. But men, on the other hand, yeah, if they don't find the truth at a young age, they're screwed as well. But men at least have the ability to learn it on their own. Now, make no mistake, I'm not saying women are subhuman. They're just as important in nature as men are. Everything exists in balance. Men and women are supposed to be unified together as one. They're not supposed to be fighting each other over red pill versus feminism or any of this bullshit, right? And yeah, this was a long video, but it needed to be made. And again, those that get it, get it. Those that don't, they're going to dismiss this as a sexist video, and that's okay. People ask me all the time, you know, why is it so important for people to learn the truth at a young age? Why can't they just half-ass and dick around until they're 30 and 40? This is why. Because by the time you're 30 years, if you just start focusing on this at 30, it's already too late, to be honest with you. So I'm going to end the video here. I think I've said enough. And yeah, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And again, I'm not telling any children to have children. Man or woman, if you learn what you need to learn at 15, spend the next 5 to 10 years going out into nature and verifying what you've just learned. Because understand something, man. Experience points are just as important as skill points. There are things in this world that you have to see with your own eyes, that you have to experience with your own body, that you're not going to find being taught to you on the internet. I know you guys, y'all grew up in this internet generation. Y'all believe that you can find everything on the internet. You know, some fucking guy that people found through my channel, he even says in one of his interviews, I found all of this on the internet. Well, he's full of shit. And that's apparent in his book where he gets key things incorrect. But I digress, and I'm not going to tell anybody what's incorrect and what's correct from that book. You guys can read it and then go out into nature and verify with your own eyes what he said that is true and what he says that is false. He even says in the final pages of that book, it is now your job to verify if what I've just told you is true or not. So, but the sheep, they don't want to verify anything. They want to get free lunch forever. So, that being said, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.